Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. So, starting from this lesson, I would like to talk to you in English. I hope you were watching my previous lessons and started your learning path from the English courses to be sure that it would be more comfortable for you now. And okay, we can start. Today I wanted to talk about interesting topic. I noticed that my students during the time do similar mistakes on the basic things. And today I would like to talk with you about building simple to-do list. It's a classical task that can be found in many manuals for different languages, different frameworks, and as the usual case, they provide the simplest way how to build to-do list in new technology. Let's discuss it. Let's take a look closer on this problem, and I will show you an example on how it looks like. Okay guys, let's check one example from my student regarding implementation of to-do list. So as you can see now, we have HTML file here and two files connected, app.js and test.js. I suppose test.js connected just to provide additional tests that it works properly, but it's not interesting. Okay, so let's check app.js file. As you can see here, we have one variable that stores all tasks. We have function that is responsible for creation of new task, function that looks for task in array, task index in array. It looks for task and function that removes task from array by its ID. I guess it should be, yeah. So it looks for task by ID. And finally, a function that is responsible for toggling task, and it also accepts task ID and changes its status and date of updation. Okay, so what's the problem here? Overall, it looks more or less logical that we have separated functions and we use them to manage our tasks list. Okay guys, so let's check this app.js file. Here we have a few functions to work with the tasks list. And what is more important, one file is missed, so those functions are implemented, but we don't have a file which say how to call these functions and operate with them. Plus, those functions become global, and this variable as well. It is because we don't have some kind of module that would encapsulate logic of tasks list. It's important when we have complex system, and it could contain a few modules, and you can imagine if we have a few modules but they don't encapsulate logic but spread global variables, it means that our code could be broken by different modules. For example, if we have tasks here and another file will be created, it would be not app.js but something else JS, and it would also contain work with the tasks variable and would do something. Now it depends on the files connection, so when this file will be connected, it means that this variable can be broken by another module. Due to this fact, I would recommend to check module approach. So pattern module is pretty common for JavaScript. It just makes additional wrapper around some logic and spreads only public elements. Also, it could be put to special variable and controlled by it. So, for example, let's create a function, and this function creates additional scope, and inside this function, so let it be function module, and it would return empty object for now. So inside this function we can have our tasks, and if we would like to say that it's possible to reuse these tasks outside, but no, and we would like to implement a task function. So if you don't mind, I will go with the arrow functions here to support newest standard. When you see function word, it means that ES5 standard, which is supported by most browsers, but on the other hand, it's a little bit older style, and now it's pretty popular when you work with a transpiler, with a bubble, and it will transpile your code into previous standard. So you use newest features, and under the hood it will transpile it to the previous version, and it would be supportable by different browsers. So for now I would like to create a function, a task internally for my module, and as a property it would be title, just some string that we put through our input. So let's check it. One example, we have nothing, actually nothing. Okay, anyway, we will check it later. So when a user click button add task and provides title, we can create our additional task. And here we have task description. Okay, let's just copy it for now. So this function will be now visible only inside these brackets. So it's block scope, and we still can modify. So add task pushes new object into our tasks array, and our module could return some kind of visible things for everybody. For example, in our case, we would like to say that add task is a public function. It means that other modules can reuse add task function of our module. And let me rename it to list module, just to be more clear what is responsible for, and create a task. So we just say that this function becomes public. So I would like to rename this function to get to list module, because it's only a function that returns another object with a public API. I don't want to create any instance by default, but inside our main file, which will be responsible for, so it will be app.js. Actually, we are inside app.js, but it's not proper. It would be better to create additional library, JavaScript, to do list.js. So it's our library. When a user creates connects to the list, when a user connects to the list to our application, it means that this library can be reused. So to-do list JS, let's connect it, let's update. Firstly, we connect our to-do list, then we connect our app logic. As I mentioned, tests are not needed, and what is more interesting, let's connect it inside head. If you would like to avoid blocking, you can use defer attribute to avoid blocking of our document rendering. So let's have rendering. This element will be rendered even this element would be rendered before our JavaScript files will trigger to be downloaded. Okay, so what we have now, we have this to-do list. It provides such simple method, and inside our app logic, I'm going to remove, let's comment it, and inside our app logic, I will call get to-do list module function. It will create to-do list module entity, and this entity can be used already to manipulate with the new to-do module. It means that if I try to autocomplete, it just says, okay, this module can provide for you function add task with new title. So add new title, and let's make a log to console of our to-do list module. What is the advantage of such usage? It means that inside our application we can create a few to-do lists, and they will be working together good, because every new to-do list creates a new module. So it would be like additional to-do list, and it creates new array of tasks, and when somebody adds anything to this list, it would be added only to this list. Let me show you. Add task, second list, and also, yeah, let's log both models. I will refresh our document. Here you may notice that we have two elements. We have first one, it shows only add task because it's public element, but if you would like to check what is inside, we also can say the tasks array is public, but only to check it, to demonstrate. So as you can see, our first list modules will have this add new title and additional data, and second module also has separated task list with other task list. So in this case we separated our array, encapsulated it. So this is good term, encapsulation. We created modules that encapsulates tasks for particular tasks list. Okay guys, so this approach better, and it helps you to make more solid application. At least we can take S from solid, single responsibility, and the responsibility of this module is to work with the tasks list. We can add additional functions here and export only public things, and then inside our application we create our to-do list, and for example here we already can manage our view model, and for example it would be, I guess, input, text and button. I will create a few IDs, submit. Overall, it's not good practice to create ID for elements, it's only for demonstration to be sure that we select proper elements. And task name, okay, or task title. So now, how we can operate with our logic? We can create simple selectors. Document get element by ID, and we need to have those IDs, task title, and we need to have another element, which is our task submit. Let it be task submit. So we do selection from our DOM tree. It would be input, and it would be submit button. Okay, we have two elements, and usually it looks like when input is changed, input changed. When submit button is clicked, we add event listener, submit button at event listener click, and we provide additional callback, what should happen when we click it. And we need to take our task title here. It would be input value. Let's check. JS input value. Sorry, not good. So we take our element by ID, and then dot value should provide for us value of this element. And inside our input we expect to have task title, and then we just can say, okay, our to-do list module can be used to create new task. And let's check again with okay, what we have here, we have empty button, create task, placeholder would be task title. Okay, and this rendering we can remove it, it was to demonstrate new task. And when we create, it should appear inside our new module. Let's go to our module. When a user creates any task, I just will be log our tasks array. So let's refresh, and what we have, test, create, it's our first task in array. Something new, we have 2 tasks, 3 tasks, and they are different, as you can see. So this provides for us opportunity to be more solid and encapsulate logic of this module. This module should be responsible only to work with the tasks list. And if we would like to add additional logic, for example, later we are going to provide local storage, and let me show you latest version that was developed by student. Reset current branch to here, hard. Okay, how does it look at the final stage? So as you can see, we already have more code here, some pre-requirements to show a user form. We already have Bootstrap connected to this app, and we have a few modules. Let's check them. So firstly, I can see storage. Storage is responsible for saving items. So it's responsible to save some data inside local storage. As you can see, local storage is used here. Okay. So it's local storage module, It has public save item, load item, and delete item functions. So when I work with this module, we can use only those functions. And here we have some modification. Previously I was showing that we created only one function. Here you might notice additional round brackets. It means that it's self-invoking functions. And when this file is connected, this function, so starting from here and ending to here, it's only function. And then those brackets means that we invoke this function. We just execute it. And it will create those definitions and this object, and will save it inside our module, which name is storage. It means that this storage can be used in other files that are connected after this one. And let's check next step. We have some kind of library. It's our to-do list. So it was refactored here to class, but never mind. We have still have our functions add task, delete task, and toggle task. Implementation is not so important here, but I guess it's additional topic. And we have app.js. As I mentioned, okay, so here we also have our app as a module. So probably later you will be able to reuse this app as a subpart from a bigger application. And it's a good approach for Vanilla.js to separate elements to be sure that we have encapsulated modules. Okay guys, what we have inside? We have some basic selectors, we have our to-do list. I guess it's a to-do list. What is to-do list? Okay, we have to-do list class, and inside our app we have to-do list as a variable. Let's try to find where our initialization is going in. Here we have init list. Okay, so how to read module? We have this module, and what is more important, we have public API, only init function. By the way, at the end this function is called. So our app will be initted just after its creation. So we go inside this init function. In our init function we can see that on init we load some elements from tasks. We init our list with the already loaded tasks. So let's check it. Okay, how we init it? We create new instance of to-do list module, and then when it was created we render tasks. It's pretty interesting that we also save them on the initial. I guess it's some problem. Okay, 1 second, let's come back to our application. Overall, it helps to have more clear vision how it works. So we have here particular functions, we know how to go through them, it's easy to understand such small pieces of code, and it's easy to manage them. Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you for your attention. I hope it was interesting, and later we will check additional tasks, additional problems that are common for newcomers, for developers that start writing a lot of code. And that's it, guys. Thank you for your attention. See you next time, and please subscribe to this channel, to this to groups, Facebook, Telegram, or just visit my website. See you. Bye.